Have you ever felt exhausted trying to control things beyond your reach? Life constantly pushes us into anxiety-filled situations where we get swept up by others, judgments, excessive expectations, and disappointment when things don't go as planned. We drown in a sense of helplessness, creating invisible pressures and trapping ourselves in the endless cycle of overthinking. But is there a way to reclaim peace, to let go of all these mental burdens? Stoic philosophy, with its ancient and profound wisdom, offers us a clearer path. It's not just the art of not caring, but a gentle release, letting go of what we cannot control and accepting things as they are. Stoicism doesn't teach us to be indifferent or cold towards life, but rather it helps us see things with clarity, maintain a strong heart, and open our minds. Through the 7 principles of Stoicism, you will gradually understand how to live freely, unchained from things that aren't yours to control. These principles will guide you on how to master yourself in any situation, appreciate the present moment, and grow. From difficulties, let's embark on this spiritual journey together, where you'll find peace within your soul and master the art of letting go. A journey that's both challenging and full of freedom. Number 1, control. What's control? What's within? Have you ever felt exhausted trying to control everything in life, only to realize that so much is beyond your reach? Expectations, judgments, and the pressures of life often push us into a state of stress and anxiety, weighing down our hearts and constantly stirring our minds. But Stoicism, a philosophy that has endured for thousands of years, does not teach us to escape from the world, but rather to live within it, with more peace and ease. The first principle in Stoicism, control what's within, is the core of true freedom. It teaches us that while life is full of chaos and unexpected events, the only thing we truly have control over is ourselves, our thoughts, emotions, and reactions. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This simple yet profound statement opens a new perspective on the world. We don't need to control everything around us to find peace. We just need to control how we respond to it. We have all experienced moments when everything seemed beyond our control: a broken relationship, an unsatisfactory job, or simply a hurtful remark. In those moments, we often worry too much about what others think or do, forgetting that the only thing we can change is ourselves. Ask yourself, can I change others' actions, or can I only control how I respond to them? This is the lesson of Stoicism. Inner peace doesn't come from controlling the outside world, but from mastering our inner world. Even Jesus taught a similar principle. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. This wisdom reminds us that worrying about the future is a needless burden. Instead, we should focus on what we can do right now in the present. There's no need to dwell on what's out of reach. By mastering ourselves, we can find peace. Consider a real-life example. Think of professional athletes. They cannot control the weather, nor can they control their opponent's performance. The only thing they can control is their focus, their mindset, and their reaction to external factors. This makes the difference between a winner and a loser. Similarly, in daily life, when facing challenges, pause and ask yourself, what can I control here? How can I act to maintain my mind and heart? Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words are not just philosophy. They are a guide to living a strong, free life in life. Countless things happen that we cannot control. Events, changes, losses, but the ability to control our thoughts, actions, and emotions is the key to overcoming everything without losing our inner peace. Control what's within is not just a principle. It is a way of living, a way of seeing the world. When we learn to let go of what's beyond our reach and focus on controlling ourselves, we discover a kind of freedom that no external turmoil can take away. This is the freedom of the mind. Freedom from unnecessary worries and the burdens life sometimes places on our shoulders. Number 2, embrace the present. Have you ever paused amid the embrace the present busyness of life and asked yourself, am I truly living in this moment? This question, though simple, holds a profound truth. We often spend much of our lives chasing distant goals, nurturing hopes for a better future, or allowing ourselves to be consumed by regrets and remorse over the past. While we are absorbed in these thoughts, the present, the most precious moment of life, slips away in silence like grains of sand falling to the bottom of an hourglass never to return. Stoic philosophy has repeatedly warned us about. This Stoicism is not just a dry set of ideas, but a way of life that helps us recognize the value of the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher Emperor Tai, reminded us, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you while you live, while it is in your power. Be good. These words are not a fearful warning, but a powerful call to live fully in each moment because the present is all we truly have. The important question is, why do we often waste the present only to realize its value when it has already passed? We drown in regrets about the past, about wrong decisions, missed opportunities, or we worry about the future, about things that may never even happen. And in doing so, we overlook the most precious thing. The present. Think of Jesus as he faced death. Instead of fearing or cursing his fate, he accepted everything with compassion and calmness. Jesus understood that every moment of life is precious, and each present moment is an opportunity to love, forgive, and live fully. He did not teach us to fear the future, but encouraged us to trust in God's plan and appreciate the time we have now. Now, in today's world, distractions are everywhere. Constant notifications from phones, social media, work, emails. They all pull us away from the present, dulling the genuine connection between us and the world around us. We might be sitting with our families, but our minds are wandering to unfinished tasks or plans for tomorrow. This not only disconnects us from our loved ones, but also causes us to miss the joy of the present, the only thing we can truly control. Imagine walking through a forest with fresh air, a gentle breeze in your hair, and warm sunlight filtering through the leaves. If you are not fully present at that moment and instead let your mind wander to future worries, you will miss the wonder of nature and the peace that moment offers. Moments like these are fleeting yet incredibly valuable. They form the foundation of true spiritual peace. Life is short and precious. This moment, the very moment you are living right now, is all you truly have. Cherish it as the Stoic philosophers and Jesus taught, because only in the present can we find true freedom of spirit and genuine joy in living. Next, let's move on to secret number 3. But before that, I have a question for you. Have you ever felt like life is a flowing river, constantly changing, and no matter how hard we try, we can't hold on to what is past? Change, whether big or small, is inevitable in life. It comes unannounced, sometimes bringing joy but also carrying pain and loss. We often fear it, because change means stepping out of our comfort zone and facing the unknown. But have you ever thought that perhaps within that very change, life is opening new doors, allowing us to grow and become, accept change, stronger? Number 3, accept change. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations encourage us not only to accept, but also to find a way to love every event, as each change brings an opportunity for us to grow. But why does change often cause us anxiety and fear? It's because humans are naturally accustomed to safety and stability. When things change, whether it's loss, a job transition, or other challenges, we often feel powerless and directionless. Yet, it is precisely in these moments, when we have nothing left to cling to, that Stoicism reminds us that change is an opportunity to grow and surpass our limits. Take an example from everyday life. You may have lost a job or faced a significant challenge. In those initial moments, fear is inevitable. However, if you look deeper, you will see that every change brings new opportunities. Perhaps losing a job helps you discover your true passion or gives you the chance to develop new skills. This is how Stoic philosophy teaches us to confront adversity, not by resisting, but by accepting and harnessing change to become better. A prime example of embracing change can be found in the journey of Michelle Obama, the former First Lady of the United States, before stepping into the White House. Michelle was a talented lawyer with a career of her own, a path she had diligently built during her years at Harvard and Princeton. However, her life changed dramatically when her husband Barack Obama decided to run for president. From being a professional in law and education, Michelle had to face a significant shift in becoming the First Lady. She not only had to leave her career behind, but also adapt to a highly public role that came with immense pressure and demands. Yet, rather than resisting or complaining, Michelle embraced this change with grace and confidence. She transformed the role of First Lady into a platform for positive change, particularly in areas like health education and women's rights. Her Let's Move anti-obesity program and her education campaign became symbols of lasting positive influence. Michelle Obama once said, "Success isn't about what you can face and adapt to change." Her story illustrates that accepting change is not just about overcoming difficulties, but also about finding meaning and opportunity in new circumstances, even when they push us out of our comfort zone. Life, with all its transformations, is a constant flow. When we learn to accept this, we realize that nothing is truly lost, but rather it is a transition from one state to another. Accepting change is not only a way to free ourselves from anxiety, but also a means to find inner peace amid life's constant turmoil. We would love to hear your thoughts and insights on these Stoic principles when life changes unexpectedly. Do you choose to fight against the unchangeable? Or do you choose to accept and adapt? Do you have enough confidence to guess your answer? Comment below and join the discussion with us. Number 4. Recognize life's natural. Recognize life's natural cycles. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. Epictetus. This principle reminds us that everything in the universe follows immutable and recurring laws. From the changing of the 4 seasons, the cycle of day and night, to the ups and downs of each person's life, all are clear manifestations of the natural SCES that we must accept and integrate into the cycles of nature, are not only present in all things, but also in our own lives. We are born, we grow up, experience joy and sorrow, age, and ultimately face death. Each stage of life is an inseparable part of this cycle, yet many of us often forget this. We want to cling to youth, to hold on to moments of happiness without embracing change. But it is precisely this resistance to the natural cycle that brings us suffering and exhaustion. A prime example in real life is the career of professional athletes. They reach a peak, but they cannot maintain that peak performance forever. Think of football stars like Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. Both have gone through glorious periods in their careers, but age and physical limitations eventually compel them to accept that their prime will not last forever. What matters is how they face this truth, not by denying or resenting it, but by learning to adapt and enjoy each stage of life. By recognizing and accepting life's natural cycles, they have found peace and deeper meaning in both their careers and personal lives. Jesus also taught us about the natural cycle of life when he spoke to his disciples about his impending death. He did not express fear or resistance. Instead, he knew that his death was part of a greater plan, the path to salvation and rebirth. He accepted it as an essential part of life's cycle, thereby giving profound meaning to the lives of his followers. Unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. Jesus once said, reminding us that every ending is also the beginning of a new cycle. So the question for us is, can we accept that life is a series of natural cycles where happiness and sorrow are intertwined, where success and failure are unavoidable parts of the journey? By understanding and embracing these cycles, we can free ourselves from unnecessary pressures and live more fully. Life is ever-changing, and the only thing we can do is accept and learn to adapt to these cycles. From this, we can find inner peace and live in harmony with nature. As Stoic philosophy and Jesus have taught, we've reached the halfway point of today's lesson. Your presence is a great motivation for us as we continue this journey of bringing the true values of Stoicism to more people. So please like and share this video to spread these lessons to your family and friends, or leave a comment saying, "I cherish my life." If you're ready for the next 5 lessons on this journey. Seek growth in adversity. Number 5. Seek growth in adversity. Life is never a smooth road. Each of us will inevitably face challenges, trials, and even failures. However, it is often in the darkest moments that we find the opportunity to grow and become stronger. Philosopher Seneca once said, "Fire tests gold, and adversity tests the brave." This is the profound message of Stoicism. Adversity is not something to be avoided, but rather an opportunity to refine oneself and develop. Consider the life of Jesus Christ. He faced numerous challenges and sufferings during his journey, being misunderstood, betrayed, and ultimately facing death on the cross. But instead of blaming or trying to escape adversity, Jesus accepted and confronted it with absolute compassion and calm. He not only demonstrated spiritual resilience but also taught us a valuable lesson. Adversity is where faith, love, and compassion are tested and strengthened in the Bible. Jesus said, "Whoever does not carry their cross and follow me cannot be my disciple." This is not only a call for sacrifice but also a reminder that in hardship we find strength and growth if we are willing to face and rise above it. The question is, how can we transform adversity into growth? A clear example from modern life is the story of Bethany Hamilton, an American professional surfer. In 2003, at just 13 years old, Bethany was attacked by a shark while surfing off the coast of Hawaii. The attack resulted in her losing her left arm, a profound loss both physically and mentally, especially for someone passionate about a sport that requires skill and balance. Like surfing for many, this adversity might have ended their career and dreams. But Bethany did not let this situation defeat her. Instead of giving up, she adapted to her new body and returned to her passion for surfing just months after the accident. Not only did she return, but she also became one of the top professional surfers in the world. Winning numerous awards and accolades, Bethany once said, "Losing my arm never stopped me from doing what I love. Instead, it made me stronger and more resilient." Her story is a clear example of transforming adversity into strength. She turned pain and loss into growth, not only in her athletic abilities but also in her spirit and determination. She has inspired millions around the world through her story, reminding us that difficulties and losses are not the end, but can be the foundation for growth and renewal. However, not everyone can easily see adversity as an opportunity for growth. We often fall into fear, anger, or despair when faced with difficulties. But ask yourself, can we change adversity itself? Or is it our attitude, our way of confronting adversity that truly matters? Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, reminded us, we cannot control the external events around us, but we can control our reactions to them. This means that, in adversity, the most important thing is not to avoid suffering, but to learn how to accept it as part of the journey of growth. We can train our minds and souls through challenges, becoming stronger, more patient, and more compassionate individuals. Ultimately, adversity is not just an obstacle to overcome, but a lesson that life sends us to learn and grow. From when we seek growth in adversity, we not only build a resilient spirit, but also discover the true meaning of understand and accept faith. Life. Number 6. Understand and accept. Faith philosopher Epictetus once said, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather wish that what happens happen the way it happens, then you will be happy." This reminds us that resisting fate only leads to suffering and dissatisfaction. Adversity, no matter how difficult, is an inseparable part of life, and accepting it is the path to inner peace. Look at the life of Nelson Mandela, who endured 27 years of imprisonment in a South African prison instead of cursing his fate or being crushed by injustice. Mandela accepted his situation with strength. He understood that while he couldn't change the harsh reality, he could control how he faced it. Acceptance of fate does not mean giving up hope or effort, but finding serenity in adversity and using it to become stronger after his release. Mandela not only became South Africa's president, but also led the nation out of racial division, becoming a global symbol of resilience and compassion. Stoic philosophy does not encourage passive resignation to fate, but emphasizes that acceptance comes from a deep understanding of life's natural laws. The life of Jesus Christ is also a powerful example of accepting fate in the face of adversity. When Jesus faced betrayal and death on the cross, he did not resist or fear. Instead, Jesus embraced his sacrifice with love and forgiveness. He said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." This was a profound acceptance of his fate and absolute trust in God, reflecting a spirit of peace amid suffering by understanding and accepting fate. We not only find peace in challenges, but also transform adversity into an opportunity for growth and maturity. Acceptance of fate is not surrender, but the liberation of the soul from meaningless worries, allowing us to live with freedom and tranquility amidst life's constant changes when facing adversity. Do you accept it as part of life, or do you resist fate and let fear here control you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's exchange personal stories of overcoming challenges. Remember, in every trial, there is always an opportunity for those who are willing to seize it. Number 7. Reflection. A fundamental reflect principle in Stoic philosophy is not merely pausing to contemplate life, but is also an opportunity to understand ourselves deeply, examine our actions, and learn from past experiences. Stoicism emphasizes self-awareness, and this is reflected in the daily practice of reflection. Through reflection, we draw lessons from what has happened, enabling us to grow and become stronger spiritually. The question is, have you ever stopped to reflect on your life? How often do you rush through challenges and successes without taking a moment to ask yourself, what have I learned from this? Without reflection, we risk being swept along by the currents of life, unaware of what we are truly experiencing. Like a ship without direction, we may move forward, but we won't know where we are headed. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, left us the valuable treasure of his thoughts and reflections in Meditations. In this book, Marcus shares not only profound philosophies on how to live, but also reveals moments when he paused to reflect on his life. He wrote these passages not to boast of his wisdom, but to self-assess, remind, and sharpen himself in a world full of chaos and uncertainty. Marcus teaches us that only by living consciously and facing life with understanding and patience can we find true peace. For Marcus, reflection wasn't just about contemplating external events, but about self-examination. He constantly questioned his behavior, feelings, and responses to life's challenges. During these moments of reflection, Marcus always returned to the core Stoic principle: control only what is within your power. Let go of what is beyond your control and maintain courage in the face of adversity. A clear example of this reflection can be seen in how Marcus dealt with significant challenges as the emperor of the Roman Empire. He had to manage wars, plagues, and many threats to the nation. Despite holding supreme power, Marcus never became arrogant. He often took time to reflect on his responsibilities and leadership. Daily reflection helped him understand that everything in life, from joy to suffering, is temporary. What matters most is how we perceive and react to what happens. From this, we can learn that reflection is not just about looking back on the past, but also about preparing for the future. By self-examining and reflecting daily, Marcus found peace amidst the storms of life. In our modern world, filled with pressure, we too can apply this practice. Let us take time to reflect on ourselves, on how we are living and facing everything, and from there, find the path to true peace. Just as Marcus Aurelius did, life is a journey filled with challenges, losses, and upheavals, but